What simple life hack should everyone know? Google it first. Get into a routine of stretching your hip flexors and chest if you sit for long periods. Absolute game changer for people who suffer with chronic lower back pain as a result of being hunched over a desk. 5 minutes of daily exercise is infinitely better than 0 minutes and will make a big difference. No matter how good a person you are, at some point you will be the bad guy in someone else's story. You can't please everyone, and you shouldn't try to be a good person and have friendships with people you can respect and look up to. Edit holy guacamole Batman. Thank you for the golden awards. Kind intraweb strangers. Sometimes you're the bad guy because you're trying to be a good person. Like when your best friend of 15 years asks you to do something against your moral compass and you say no, and they end the friendship and write a book about it. And you have to be okay with that. Are oddly specific. If you have trouble choosing, flip a coin. While you're waiting to get the result, your mind automatically starts to wish for what it wants. Then you can choose easily. I've been doing this for big life decisions for years. Sometimes I don't realize what I want, but instead realize it doesn't matter, and I just go with the flip result. Don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. Edit, you've taken my advice. Take my criticism. Reddit awards are dumb. You should support a local brewery instead. In a lot of daunting situation, for example asking someone out or standing up for yourself, you only need to be brave for a few seconds to get it over with. If there's a jar or container you can't open, run the lid under hot water for a 30-second. Dry it so you can get a good grip, then open. Never had this not work. Some pretty good stuff on here. Just beat it on the counter. The jar. I meant the jar. Too late. Now my counter is all sticky. Anybody got any tips for that? Edit, thanks for the wholesome award. You sick bastard. Run it under hot water for 30 seconds. Buy anything you'd need in your kitchen from a restaurant supply store. Anything. Plates, glasses, pans, etc. There are a few online that sell to consumers. Those 8.99 tongs at a box store are like 1.30. A 16-ounce mason jar glass that sells for $3 a piece can be bought as a 12-pack case for $8.55. Oh, need a china plates that sell for $345.84 a case for $57.84. I just bought a 2-foot by 2-foot wooden butcher's block cutting board that would have been close to $400 for $55. Edit, also, this shit is built to last years in a commercial kitchen under constant use. It sure as shit can handle your Sunday brunch cooking ass. Edit 2, I've been buying from here link. Edit 3, for those asking about the EU. You can Como replied www.jordan.com if you're in Ireland. Best site and fast delivery. Edit 4, yowza. I'll get to responding to all of the questions this week. Thank you for the gold. Platinum et. Albert, no more please. And thank you to those that reached out looking to tip on apps or Bitcoin. Please consider donating to my favorite charity instead. Project Pinball link. They provide and maintain pinball machines free of charge to long-term children's hospitals and take donations. Sell merch, or if you're feeling lucky, they run 2 continuous raffles at $50 and $75 a ticket that close every 200 sold, where the winner gets a brand new pinball machine shipped to them. Most of life is just showing up to things. Most of the time keeping your mouth shut is a great option. If you put something down temporarily, say out loud, I've put the screwdriver by the microwave, or whatever. This engages many more areas of the brain, particularly the language centers, which creates a richer memory, making it less likely you'll forget where you put it. In a similar vein, I will say it out loud when I turn stove burners off, unplugged my hair straightener, etc. I found this helps me eliminate those moments where I leave a house or am in bed and I'm suddenly like, did I leave that on? My wife and I made this a ritual due to her OCD. Anytime we are going out, I'll say to her, hey, I unplugged the iron. Saying it in a funny voice helps too, because it's easier to remember that Shrek told her the iron was off. For the iron thing, I've heard a therapist recommend to actually bring the iron with you to be completely sure that it is off. Brush your teeth more thoroughly before bed, after you are done eating and drinking for the day. Morning brushing is important too, but more so for fresh breath, while evening cleaning will prevent bacteria from breeding and damaging your teeth and gums. If you want to wear something white light in color, wear underwear that matches the color of your skin, not white or light gray. It hides better under white than white does. Same principle works for your primer coat before you paint your walls. If you have a bright or intense color that you want to paint, using a gray primer will help your paint cover better than going over white primer. Source: Sherwin-Williams Manager. Train yourself to always keep an eye out for things that need to go in the direction you are going. If you are about to go downstairs, does any item nearby need to go with you? Perhaps a cup can be brought to the sink on your way to the bathroom. Sometimes changing your pillowcase daily can help with acne. I use a clean shirt over my pillow to accomplish the same effect. Honey does not go bad. If it has gone solid, it has just crystallized and can become liquid again with just a little heat. Put the container of solidified honey in a container of hot water. Put it in the microwave once. It worked but made the bottle bear depressed. Oh bother. If you ever fall off a ship ferry at sea and were lucky enough to be spotted, don't try to swim your way to safety. The more you try to swim, the less are the chances of survival. Just try to keep afloat and conserve energy and body heat while rescue team do what they are supposed to, unless you are in hypothermic waters. The best bet always is to stay afloat without trying to swim to somewhere. This information about falling overboard, hypothermia and conditions, survival at sea etc. are based on my own experience of 12 years sailing on merchant ships like this link. P's link will take you to a time-lapse video I made when sailing under the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. This kind of ship is called a container ship. Turn your bed mattress when you renew your blanket. Through time your mattress will deform, and that can make you sleep worse. Some mattress have a specific side and top that they need to be. Thanks for pointing that out, you shaved ape. Some mattresses should be turned. Check the directions when you buy it. But if it needs it, this tip is brilliant. If you have a spare minute or are just playing video games or on a computer at home, take a few minutes to just pet your dog, cat and really appreciate them. A phrase I heard somewhere just really stuck with me: pets are only a part of your life, but you are your pet's entire life. Duck, where is my dog? Remember to say out loud wherever you put your dog. Not necessarily a hack per se, but learn some basic knife skills. The amount of time you will save chopping vegetables a few times a week minimum for the rest of your life far outweighs the amount of time it takes to learn. Plus you can use the extra time to keep the kitchen clean, and that makes everything less stressful while you're cooking and makes the cleanup faster as well. To confirm which circuit breaker is associated to an outlet, plug in an old radio and turn the volume up before you flip the circuit breaker. Whenever you have a time to be somewhere, aim to be there 15 minutes early to allow for time snags or for traffic. People respect punctuality. If you bring something to someone's house that you don't want to forget, put your keys with it, assuming you can trust the people there. Also, get a tile or similar Bluetooth device so you never lose your keys or phone again. Tiles are game changers. Just remember to put a clap finder on the remote that finds tiles. Read the 3 and 4-star reviews for the most reliable information on Amazon items, and 2-star reviews for books. Seeing what people dislike tells much. Try on your favorite to see. UPD to clarify. The idea here is that people writing 2-star reviews project their views and values when arguing that the book is bad for them, and when their views are opposite to yours, it may suggest that you might actually enjoy the book. Let's say you are interested in mind-stimulating philosophy book, and a person writes something like, "This is boring. The writing is too complex. Ideas are difficult to follow. The language is too intricate. Quit reading after 20 pages. It may mean that it is what you look for. Problem with that is, there's so many stupid reasons people give for disliking stuff. 3-star reviews are usually the most realistic. Best practice when looking through reviews is to read some reviews from 1 star all the way to 5 stars. so you get a good overview and a more complete picture of the product. This is just a response, not a comprehensive guide to reviews. LOL. Manners and general politeness will get you far and become the norm with but a small amount of practice. I'm not talking overboard laddie, but a simple please and thank you with a genuine smile. You will often have to make decisions in life without being able to know all the information related to the choices. Being able to identify what you don't know is invaluable. It allows you to make assumptions and contingency plans. If those assumptions fail, I want to slap every person that quips. If you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. You cannot function in life without making assumptions. The trick is to identify them as such, so that you can be better prepared when they are resolved. Hanging picture frames. Put painter's tape from edge to edge on the top side of the frame. Trace where the hangers are. Peel the tape off. Then stick it to the wall where you want your frame hung. Tap your nails into the premarked spots. Then remove the tape and hang your frame. When moving house, always set up your bedroom. Make the bed first so when you're exhausted and just had enough you can fall into bed. Nothing worse than being exhausted and having to make the bed before getting into it. Edit. Good grief. That blew up. Thank you for the awards. Edit 2. To all the grammar Nazis, I apologize profusely for using "ir" instead of "ya." I don't always proofread as well as I should, but please, get a grip. It's a typo, not axe murder. Also, if you have time, plan where do you want the furniture's boxes of your stuff in the house. Placing it in the right room straight away helps a lot. Never talk to cops in case of any serious legal trouble. Always ask for a lawyer. Surprised how many people don't really know this. If you ducked up, admit it, unless you are talking to cops. But in most situations, just admitting how you were wrong and accepting responsibility is so much easier than trying to blame someone or something else or make up an excuse. When you own the mistake, it puts the onus back on the other person to accept that. Be mature and move on. If you try and deny or shift blame, it forces that person to examine those reasons, and if they are BS, come back at you, dragging the process out and leading to unpleasant callouts and confrontations. Regularly change the oil in your car. On time. Do it. Will help it last longer. Edit. What in the duck? So that's what happens when your inbox blows up. Thanks for the award too. My first car I owned when I lived alone. I had it for a full year before the guy I was dating asked me when I last changed the oil. You mean it has to go to the mechanic even though it's working fine? Don't be like that, folks. Tell the people you love that you love them more often. If you're having trouble getting your baking paper to fit your tray, scrunch it up first and then unfurl it. It stays in the pan easier and fits like a dream. Turn natural peanut butter, the ones where the oil separates and you have to mix it, upside down for a few hours. It will bring the oil to the top and make it a lot easier to mix. Then, after you mix it, put it in the fridge and the cold will solidify the oil, so you don't have to mix it again. Edit. To a few points. Natural peanut butter doesn't solidify to a point that it's hard to spread when cold, so that's not something you have to worry about when storing it in the fridge. To the person who said just buy emulsified, I mean sure, but Adam's peanut butter is best peanut butter, and I know someone was going to call out my alert, haha. Whenever somebody you know mentions something that they like, need, or favorite things, keep a note of it on your phone. Eventually you'll have a list for all your friends and family that you can dip into whenever you need to get them a gift. The easiest way to remove bloodstains is to use bar soap and hand wash it. Works better than using laundry detergent. Nursing trick: hydrogen peroxide. This is a real LPT. Once I discovered that, I thought of all the pants and underwear that cold been saved over the years. Works amazingly well. If you want someone to get more mad, you tell them to calm down. When you're cooking and the recipe calls for onions and garlic, don't put the garlic into the pan until the onion is nearly translucent. Garlic cooks way faster than onions do. If you throw them in at the same time, it won't taste as good, the garlic will burn. It literally takes 30 seconds for minced garlic to cook. Also, if you're a home cook, Sharpen your knives often. Thought of a few more tips. Love chives and parsley in your eggs, omelets, anything else. But hate the hassle of cutting them using the herbs before it turns. Get dried chives and dried parsley instead. It rehydrates quickly and sauces eggs and tastes the same. It's also way cheaper. This tip can apply to a lot of herbs. While fresher is always better, dried is often still delicious while still being in a student budget. Add a bit of vinegar to your beans if you're making anything benign. A lot of home cooks think that vinegar is gross, and it is by itself, but a dash of vinegar can really make beans, sauces and marinades pop. If you're planning on spending a decent amount of time drinking at a busy bar, always make sure you give the bartender a really good tip on your first order and ask them how they're doing before you order. Chances are you won't have to wait very long on your next couple of orders. If you need help, ask for help. It's a strength, not a weakness. Always poop on company time. This way, at the end of the year, you will have earned like 2 workdays paid by pooping. Hence you will be a professional pooper and also less money spent on toilet paper at home. Plus, you don't do your best work when you're holding in your shit. Pooping at work is really in everyone's aligned interests. Don't buy things you can't afford. If you want to open a glass jar like jam, pickles and the lid won't move, place a spoon with the tip under the edge of the lid and pull the spoon upwards. The lid will bulge and you can open the jar. In a pinch, the seat belt in your car can be used as a bottle opener. If you're in a public restroom having to poop and are using an automatic flushing toilet, put a bit of toilet paper over the motion sensor at the back. This will prevent it from flushing before you're ready, which might scare and/or splash you. Also, a tiny bit of paper on the water itself will prevent the splash when you drop your poop. Just remember to take the paper off when you are done to initiate the flush. Mostly applies to the use A.